Hey everyone, Matt here from Ducks Running, and today we're going to do a full review of the Adidas Adizero Evo Pro 1. So I have been gawking over this shoe for a very long time now. I was smart enough not to buy it, although I'll be honest with you, if I can't find it, I will look on all the sites like eBay, Poshmark, what have you. And Nathan has to always remind me, Matt, don't buy it until we know for sure we're not going to get it. Adidas was very nice to send me a pair for free. That does not change how I view this shoe. I really like it in some ways, but I'm very frustrated in certain other ways. So, and I'm just going to come out here right and say it before we start this review. You should not buy this shoe. The majority of people watching this should not buy this shoe. It is for a very specific population. So unless you are a super elite runner or you have a lot of cash to burn, I wouldn't buy it. But let's talk about why and who specifically it might be best for. So let's start off with specs. 4.87 ounces for men's size 9, women's size 10.5 as its unisex sizing, or about 138 grams. It is a 39 millimeter heel, 33 millimeter forefoot for a 6 millimeter drop. That's exactly what it feels like. It is the lightest super shoe on the market that's available. I know there's actually a couple other ones over in some different markets, but this is the somewhat most commercially available shoe. I know it's kind of hard to get your hands on. It is a super light mesh up here that is very, very light, and I've been super afraid that I was going to break it, but it's actually worked very, very well. This brand new version of Light Strike Pro, which is a variation of what they normally do with it that made it super light and super low density. There is carbon rods that go the full length of this, as I understand, and it is fairly stiff. There's no flexibility, but it's really smooth. And I will say, from a performance standpoint, I really love this shoe, which you better love it for 500 bucks. It has a super smooth transition. The heel bevel is really large, so I get this really nice laterally guided bevel for rear foot transitions that is very classic to Adidas, very smooth. This really nice early forefoot rocker, which makes the shoe very rocker and very smooth off the toe. So extremely comfortable ride rolling at up tempo paces. I will say the midsole is compliant. It doesn't feel super soft. It just feels like it compresses and it's very protective. It's only moderately responsive or resilient. There's a lot of super shoes on the market that have a lot more bounce than this shoe. Yes, it is obviously the lightest one by a long shot. You can feel that the second you put it on, but it doesn't have the most bouncy sole on the market, which I would assume because the density of the foam is so low, you start losing some of that bounce back, which Adidas has said this shoe is really good for one training run and one marathon or one major key race. And I can understand why, and we'll talk about durability in a second, but it's not the bounciest ride. This shoe gets everything from it being super light. When you put this on, it feels actually slightly awkward at first to go, wow, there's like nothing on my feet. It rolls really nicely, as I said. It does, with the large rocker, feel best for 10K and up paces. I have tried to do some 5K workouts in this, and it really hasn't responded as quickly as I would like. I like the Metaspeed Edge Paris or something like that, or something that just has a little bit more responsiveness. This doesn't quite have that. For 10K and up, doing like longer intervals or threshold or tempo workouts, that's where this shoe really shines. So it is a longer distance shoe. There are other options I would choose for 5K. Even the Takumi Sen 10 I would choose for 5K over this, but it is an excellent shoe if you want the lightest thing for rolling your way through a lot of longer effort stuff. So I can totally see people have more are nicer on shoes, how it would last a really, really long time. So super smooth ride. Durability is not that hot. You probably can't see it right now, but I ripped the outsole off this piece as I usually do at 10 miles, which is very disappointing for a $500 shoe. I was able to shoe glue it back, and honestly, I've got 25 miles on these. I'm not going to run a step further. I'm sending them to David, and hopefully me repairing the sole doesn't affect him too much. I want to get his thoughts on this, but durability is very low, either from the sole kind of starting to compress really quick, or honestly, I didn't get the sole compression. I just got ripping through the outsole. So if you are very hard on shoes or you chew through outsoles, do not buy this shoe. You're going to rip through it before you probably ever get to a race in it, and even during that race, it's not going to last that long. I ripped this off in the middle of a tempo run. I had to stop, I had to go back, bend down, grab the piece, and finish my tempo run with it because I didn't want that to go to waste. And definitely chewed through a lot of the outsole in the meantime, but have tried to repair it as much as possible. You'll see how David responded to that. But just durability is extremely low. So anybody with mild durability issue with the shoes, do not buy it. If you are very light on your feet and you don't wear soles, this might be a good option for you, but it's still a very expensive shoe. In terms of stability, the heel is really nice, laterally biased, again, like a lot of Adidas shoes, really nice transition in. The midfoot is not stable. It's very narrow. I feel myself rolling off, so at slower speeds, it doesn't feel very good. I just feel like I'm rolling off this side. Forefoot, though, is great. Really nice sole flare on both sides, transition super early, so very centralized forefoot, nicely guided up front with the lateral bias in the heel, but it's still going to do well mostly for people that need midfoot neutral mechanics there. And I will say, I forgot to mention this, running slow in this shoe is not that exciting. If you are not someone that runs faster or is really pushing the pace, you're not going to get a lot out of this shoe. It's really a high, like concept car-esque shoe where it's really cool to debut and very interesting and super light, extremely fast. But a lot of us mortals, this is not going to be a good shoe for you. It's not worth the money, in my opinion, unless you're like your career is on the line in terms of being able to race really, really fast. So most of us, it doesn't feel special. I don't feel a lot of that bounce. The bounce and the roll and the weight really come to play when doing workouts and running faster, and that's where it comes alive. And like I said, I've actually really enjoyed this shoe. I'm just afraid to run in it more. I'm glad I got to try it, but that's where it ends because it's so expensive for the durability. I luckily haven't broken the laces. The fit is actually surprisingly wider. The volume's quite low, so it feels there's a wider toe box, but it sits low, so there's not as much room as you would like. I did have to kind of tighten down the laces, but I was super afraid I was going to break it, so I didn't lace lock it. And there is structure back here, but it's not a heel counter. So as classic Adidas, if you have some haggled deformities, you may actually do really, really well in this shoe, but super light, and again, not the greatest durability. So as I said earlier, it's really only good for people who are really elite and looking to get that one tool that might set them apart, help break that PR or get to the next stage in their running career. For the rest of us, the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris, the Nike Alpha Flyer Vaporfly, a lot of other shoes on the market are going to get tons more mild than this. You're going to get plenty of bang for your buck at half the price. I still think this is a very cool concept shoe from Adidas, and I really hope they learn some really cool lessons from this and we see maybe a more affordable version of this. But for right now, I wouldn't buy it. It's something you could look at, enjoy, but I would pass on this stuff, to be totally honest. Not to be rude, it's cool, but just not worth the money, especially losing the outsole at 10 miles. I'm still appreciative of getting the opportunity to run it. As always, if you have a different opinion, let me know in the comments below. I'm obviously really hard in shoes. I have a little bit bias with this stuff. I love Adidas, but challenging. So if you have a different experience, let me know in the comments below. As always, I hope this helps and hopefully saves you some cash so you can put it toward other shoes.